Welcome to another episode of Talking Tech. And today we're going to talk about something I feel that a lot of people should actually be talking about more these days. You're watching India Tech. I am Manas Tiwari, and today we are discussing cryptocurrencies. Now, I have always maintained that I am not a crypto expert, I am not a financial advisor, but I've got someone with me who actually is, who understands cryptocurrencies more than me. We are joined by Nischal Shetty, founder and CEO of WazirX, India's leading crypto exchange platform. Welcome to the show, Nischal. How are you doing?
Hey Manas, thanks a lot for inviting me here. I've been great. I think as we get deeper into the conversation, you'll understand how anyone in crypto is doing right now. Because of the whole, the last 24 hours have been really crazy. But in general, I mean, if you're in crypto for a long time, you'll realize it's part of the whole journey of this amazing technology.
And that's what I want to start this conversation with because I have a lot of questions, by the way. I mean, people have been pinging us like anything, they have a lot of doubts. But I want to start with what has been happening with the whole crypto market. This month started on a very positive note. There was a very positive sentiment around cryptocurrencies. Then we saw a slight dip after Elon Musk's Saturday Night Live appearance. And then there has been some sort of recovery. And then what happened on Wednesday was, of course, all of us know that there was a huge dip. So, should the investors be concerned about this?
Um, I mean, if it was for the first time, I would say you should always be concerned. But if you've ever looked at the history of crypto, you'll realize that there have been multiple points in time where you've seen dips of over 10%, 20% in a day for Bitcoin, which ultimately also trickles down to the other alternate cryptos, also called as altcoins, usually in the 40 to 45, 50% range. Um, so it's not nothing new. I think something that'll be new in crypto might be um, I should not say it, maybe 100% dip, or 80% dip. I think that would be something new because otherwise we've seen 40, 50, 60% dips in a day. And I'm not talking about the last few months, but the last several years. And crypto surprisingly has always emerged stronger. So it's not that surprising, but the thing is, it is surprising to a lot of people who are into crypto for the first time in the last, let's say, 12 months, because the last 12 months have been a upward trajectory for crypto overall. And a lot of people who joined in the last 12 months, uh, because you don't get time to check all the historical facts when you get into anything new in general. So I think probably now they're all probably going and figuring out what the history of the sector is, to understand that this is a normal thing where there is a lot of volatility in the whole sector. And the reason being, it's a fairly new asset class being formed. I was just checking out a tweet which said that in the 1960s, I think gold had about a 60% volatility in a 34 months period. And that's a lot of volatility for something that today, I think if it moves by 1 or 2%, the world is shocked. So that's what is happening to Bitcoin and crypto in general. New asset class being formed, market is trying to test it, and
Now,
you're seeing all this whole volatile movement.
you talked about that, how maybe the new investors would be slightly nervous. And that's what I want to talk about for a moment here, because we have seen that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, everybody's talking about them. But I don't think that all of them actually understand these cryptocurrencies. So what I want you to do is do a quick revision for us. And in the simplest of words, I want you to address three things. First is that what exactly are these cryptocurrencies? How do you buy and sell them? Second is that
Mm.
what do you actually do with them? If you have cryptocurrencies in your wallet, what can you possibly do with them? And the third thing is that from the legal point of view, where are we right now in India?
Got it. That's a lot of questions for
there
me
are
to
more.
remember.
There are many more to come.
I mean to say, for me to remember, that's why I just took it down.
Okay.
But yeah, I think uh, first, let's demystify crypto to a certain extent. Look, I think a disclaimer is, it's as good as me trying to explain the internet to you. So the internet is different for different people, and for me it might mean that I can search up information when I need, or for someone it might mean that I can transfer money to my friends, or someone connecting with their friends. So it's different for different people, but the core of the internet, if you look at it, what is the core of the internet is it democratized information, access to information. So it does not matter where we are, we get access to the same information as anyone else in the world.
Yeah.
And the moment that happened, we've seen the last 20 years of the internet, it has liberalized countries, it has made people smarter and made them more aware about not only their immediate surroundings, but the entire globe, what is happening. And in general, it has also increased the GDPs of every nation it has touched. So that's the greatest thing about democratizing information. Now, the other second component of an important part of a life is commerce, or I would say money. And if you look at money or finance today, it is not really democratized as in terms of geography, because we still are bound to the interest rates of our country, the financial institutions of our country. It's only a dream for you to think that you and someone anywhere in the world would be accessing the same financial infrastructure. So what crypto is trying to say is the way the internet broke down the geographic barriers of information, can we break down the geographic barriers of value or money or finance? And that is exactly what is being done right now. Now we are in very early days. This is like 1993, 1994, or 1995. We are talking about internet and how people can buy and sell stuff and do a lot. But the most important thing for the internet to take off was, if you look at it, first the whole mobile revolution was what actually got the internet into everyone's hands. And crypto still hasn't reached that, I would say, a mobile revolution kind of a stage. So it's still in the early days being built out.
Okay.
Now, let me give you a simple example of what exactly crypto means, because this was an overview. Let's say in the real world, if I was to pay you money, I would get a 100 rupee note and give it to you. So what is happening is a cash transaction between just me and you. But today in the online world, if I wanted to send you money, I have to instruct my bank to send it to your bank account. So that's a three-party system minimum: me, the bank, and you. Now, either an individual or a bunch of people by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to ensure that there is a cash-like transaction mechanism available on the internet. And that's where the whole Bitcoin concept came. So if I send you one Bitcoin, I can actually directly send you. I don't need a bank, I don't need a website or any other product. We can just transact between each other on the internet. So that's all that the innovation of whole crypto is. Now what is happening is people are taking this innovation just like the internet, and they're thinking up and dreaming up of things that you could do on top of this. And that's where all of these new applications are being.
Okay.
So yeah, how to buy and sell. So now let's say if this sounded interesting to you, honestly, a lot of these innovations take time to for you to understand. And like for me also, internet took a lot of time to understand when it was new to me. So spend some, I think, before you buy and sell, spend some time understanding the sector and understanding what it truly is. And if you really want to buy, start with a very small amount. Let's say I think the biggest misconception people have is, oh, Bitcoin is worth 30 lakh rupees. Should I put 30 lakh? You don't need to. The way you could buy gold, like a gram of gold, if you wanted, you don't have to buy a kilo of gold. You could do the same with Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin worth 500 rupees. And I would always recommend buy worth 500 and learn the sector, try to sell it, complete a cycle. And you could do this using any exchange, like for example, at WazirX. This is our whole mission is to make crypto accessible to everyone in India. And whenever you want to buy, you could go to our website and just buy it easily. And it's as good as filling up. Like it's a simple 2 to 3 step. You just put the price that you want to buy it and the quantity that you want to buy, and you click the buy button, and the purchase is done instantly. Okay. But yeah, before buying, I would say research and then get into it. Okay. The third question I wanted to know is the regulatory part. Yeah. I think in terms of regulation, look, I think there's a lot of confusion today in India. And it's a very important question to discuss, especially for someone who's new into the sector. Is it legal in India? People ask, is it illegal in India? The thing is, there is no regulation. So it's an unregulated sector. That's the right word to understand. And then suddenly when you hear, oh, it's unregulated, there's a lot of fear. But the fact is that a lot of the products that you use on the internet today are unregulated. Your Uber, Ola, for example, they emerged in as unregulated products. Even now, I don't think there's proper regulation. E-commerce, for example, is again unregulated. Unregulated is not such a bad thing, but the only thing is you need to be more aware and careful, especially when the unregulated sector involves money. So in the crypto world, for example, because it is unregulated, anyone can start an exchange, anyone can start a product in there. And the risk is if you go to an exchange where that you cannot trust or nobody knows about, you might lose your crypto. So what is important for you, the onus of research before using a product in an unregulated market is on the customer. Because in a regulated market, what happens, you look at a license and you can be assured that the regulators are behind. In crypto, that's not the case. Just because someone has a website which sells Bitcoin does not mean you go and buy it. You should do some research, find out who the founders are, what their background is, and how trustworthy this website is. So that's the disadvantage of being unregulated. I think apart from that, a lot of question is, will India ban it? The good thing is, just yesterday, there was an article that spoke about how India wants to regulate crypto and not ban it.
Not ban it, yeah.
And it also says that India is looking at crypto as a digital asset rather than a currency, and that's a very important classification that helps us be more confident, because India is okay with assets. We already have so many assets that we trade in: gold, real estate, and everything else. So I think as an asset class, that classification really helps the cause of crypto in India. Yeah, I would stop here, and happy to answer any other questions you have or follow-ups on this.
Now, listen, I want to take you back to one thing that we probably missed earlier, was that what can you possibly do with these cryptocurrencies? Let's say you invested in it, you have got some sort of profit. Now, what can I possibly do with that profit? And I want to attach it to the fact that recently we saw Ethereum founder Vitalik donating Shiba Inu coins worth $1 billion to India's COVID relief. So how can India possibly use that now?
I think the use cases are very specific to each crypto that exists, just like websites. And for example, gold is seen more. Bitcoin is seen more as a digital version of gold, or a store of value. What people say is that the reason why Bitcoin is a store of value is because it's one of the most trusted crypto. It has again stood the test of time, and it's being accepted more and more by a large number of people around the world as a store of value. And it's got over 150, I think 100 odd million people today who own crypto around the world. So that's a large network of people who trust the value of Bitcoin. I think so that's one use case which is of Bitcoin, which is just store of value. And Bitcoin does not have to do more than that. Bitcoin does not have to prove itself. It's just like gold, for example, it does not have to prove itself.
It can be liquidated at some point. So can you do exactly that with cryptocurrency? You can. Right?
Yeah, you can absolutely liquidate crypto. Yeah. In fact, if you see the accessibility of gold versus crypto is more accessible to people anywhere in the world, because all you need is a mobile phone and an internet. You don't need anything else.
And it can be
but in gold, you
24/7 if I'm.
And it can be done 24/7, and it has a large liquidity pool, at least today. Today, because it's globally, it's available on a lot of exchanges around the world. It's far more liquid, and but again, not as liquid as I would say gold. But that's also the reason why it's also volatile. But the fun thing is, the world, all these innovators and all the youth, they're trying to get this into the whole category of gold, which means the target today, for example, Bitcoin's valued at about, I think, close to 700-800 billion dollars. It was at $1 trillion, but the drop has gotten it to 700-800 billion dollars worth of market cap. And gold has about $12 trillion market cap. So now the whole one section of the community is like, how do we take this to the market cap of gold? And that's a good objective and a direction to have. And at the rate at which it's going, it's probably possible that this probably overtakes gold over a period of time, which is also the reason why a lot of people are investing.
Yeah.
So that's one.
Please.
Yeah. The second. See, I can go on and on about crypto, but I'll just stick to a couple of crypto. Ethereum, for example. Ethereum's use case is, Ethereum is seen like a global supercomputer. What that means is, the belief is, if you want to run any program on the internet, you could run it on Ethereum. And for that, you need to use Ether, which is the token of Ethereum. And that's where the value of Ether comes. So similarly, every token has its own use case. Now, Shiba Inu that you spoke about, That honestly is a meme coin or a fun token, and there's no specific use case that is defined as of now. But most times, these kind of tokens, the idea is, can this be one of those contenders to beat Bitcoin as a store of value eventually? Like even Dogecoin, from where Shiba Inu got inspired and they created one. The whole concept was that can we create one more something similar to Bitcoin, because it's so easy to create crypto, and it was created as a joke coin. But the joke is now on those people who sold it a long time ago, because now it's gotten expensive. So anything can happen in crypto.
So now quickly, like, want to address few concerns that people usually have, and we keep getting these all the time. And let me start with Shiba Inu coin, because you mentioned it just now. Now, what happened last week was that you listed Shiba Inu coin. A lot of people bought it without realizing what the price was, and there were tweets. People reached out to us as saying that this price was not as per the global price. So what actually happened there? And I know that you have announced an airdrop program. So how does that program happen, and how can we avoid these instances in future? Because apparently people have reached out to us saying that this has happened in the past as well with different coins, and they have experienced this, that something was at a higher price and then they ended up buying it. So how do we avoid these instances in future going ahead?
Sure. I think I would first I'd like to clarify on how exchanges like us, or any true exchange, an open order book exchange, operates. Because that's a misconception. People think that an exchange decides the price. That's actually an incorrect understanding of how an open order book exchange like WazirX or any other global exchange that operates openly works. What we do, we are just a technology platform. Our work is only to bring in the buyers and the sellers and connect them together. And we have a trading engine which automatically matches you with the buyers and the sellers. So there is no, it's not like we bring a bunch of tokens, buy them from somewhere and come and sell it to you. That's not what an exchange like us does. So the question of us setting the prices actually does not arise at all, because we are just a platform where anyone can come. It's like saying if you are going on an Airbnb and you want to buy a house, Airbnb does not really decide. It does definitely take a cut, but the owner of the house decides what the price should be. That's the way the owner of a token decides what the price should be. And when I mean owner, I mean anyone who buys a token. If I buy Bitcoin, I could put Bitcoin on WazirX for, let's say, even 10 lakh or a crore rupees. But the only thing is someone would be selling it cheaper than me. So our algorithm automatically puts the cheaper prices up. So you don't have to worry about someone selling for 1 crore. But if someone is selling for 10 lakh, we'll match you with that 10 lakh. Now, what happened in the case of, and what usually happens in the case of listing a new token on an exchange as large as ours. So you won't see this on small exchanges. When we were small, we never used to face this issue. But we've always seen this in large exchanges, including large exchanges in the US. If you look at the history of a lot of large exchanges, when they grow, they've always had this price movement, which is different from the rest of the market at the time of listing. And why does this price movement happen is because the moment we announce a new token, all of our customers, and we have millions of them, they get ready to buy that token. And they want to be the first one to buy that token, because they know if you understand the mechanics of an exchange, they know that it will take time for new tokens to come in. Yeah. And if we can buy it out quickly, and there will be others in the exchange who also want it, then we can probably sell it off. So there are some people who want to play in the volatility that happens in that brief period of time. So to avoid this, what we do is we try to ensure that we have enough sellers who are already there on our exchange, so that there's enough liquidity. Liquidity is enough sell orders. But the problem that happened when we listed Shiba was there was a period of time, I think about an hour or two, where we got an unprecedented level of people. We did not anticipate that the demand for a token like that would be at that level. We did not anticipate. And that was one of our, I would say, misjudgment to underestimate the demand for a token. And because of that, the number of sellers in our platform, they immediately reduced because everyone bought up the token. Now it took us about 1 to 2 hours to open up deposits and attract more sellers to come to the platform. And in that brief moment, the prices shot up, because the moment there is a lack of sellers, prices shoot up. Why do they shoot up is because some regular customer who bought the token sees that, oh, no one's selling, let me sell for a higher bid, and they put it for high, and that's what happened. Now, ideally, if you look at the history, no exchange will ever, help customers with the losses they have suffered, because it's a free market, and you cannot get into a free market. But at WazirX, we've been one of those exchanges which has been at the forefront of building the community in India. So in 2018, when we came, there was no this crypto community in India, by the way. There was no founder from an exchange talking about, and today everyone does it. I was the first founder in the country to say that building a community in our nation is going to be important if we want to participate in crypto. I was very vocal about it. And that's how we built out a community. Now, when this happened, we realized that while we can say that we can't do anything, but there was a lot of people involved. If it was a small number of people who were involved and did not understand, I would still say that it's fine. If out of 100, 10 people get affected, I would say it's probably some error, or starting. Maybe they do not get something, but we saw that a larger percentage were affected for sure during this thing. And the reason for that is very simple. We saw more than 50% of our customers signed up last month alone. So in 3 years, we signed up 2 million people, and in April, we signed up 1 million new people. So that's 50% of our 3 years population signing up in 1 month. Yeah. So then we realized that one of the things that we should be doing better is to put in safeguards and checks for people to be able to trade without worrying about these wild price swings. Now, we cannot avoid it, but what we've done is we've ensured that now, before we list a token, we're going to give at least 1 hour time for sellers to deposit their tokens in advance. Okay. So what that happens is, if you're a seller, you have 1 hour to go before we list that token to bring in your token, which we never used to do before. Before, we used to do it at the time of listing. You can also start depositing. So we've done that. The second thing that we've already implemented with the last token that we listed was, the moment it's a new listed token, we'll show you a pop-up which says that this is just listed and there is going to be volatility, so that you're aware about it. Okay. And we've done these things because, see, we don't want you to have in your head that, oh, I need to keep checking prices, I need to keep going somewhere and be aware about the prices, because you trust our exchange and you want to trade out here. And that's why we also announced the WazirX airdrop program to compensate for all of our customers who were affected. And surprisingly, the response was amazing. So we got WazirX Cares started trending on Twitter. And I that's where I saw the power of the community also. It's amazing that people also appreciate good work. Not that they just keep complaining. They do appreciate good work. And I think that really pumped up our team to make sure that we always take our community in the right direction.
It's good to see that you're compensating the investors in some way. And I hope that this continues for all the similar sort of incidents that happen. See, I have another concern around the infrastructure right now that there is in India for crypto trading. And I've been following it for the last few weeks as well. And what I see is that there are frequent challenges or problems that keep happening with the, and not just with WazirX, with most of the trading platforms. That is, sometimes there are problems with the OTP authentication, then the UPI transactions are not enabled. I saw there was a phase when withdrawals and deposits were blocked, and the service at times crashed. So, and I understand it's a new industry, we are still trying to find our feet, and because of which these things happen. But then the money is involved here, investors' money, and money, as I always say, invites a lot of emotions. So how far are we from reaching a point where the investors or the users don't have to face these problems at least this frequently?
No, I think it's a very valid question to ask, and if we don't ask the right questions, we won't be able to sort of build a better ecosystem. So the first, I think, first most important thing is to understand that the state of the crypto ecosystem in India, there are a few factors. First is the whole deposit withdrawal. This is where I think I would also request everyone from the media, including you, to raise the right concerns to the banks who today are not really giving us the option to accept deposits in the right way. And if the banking infrastructure does not support the crypto industry in India, despite winning the Supreme Court case on the 4th of March 2020, how can the industry even function properly? And how can the industry even cater to the customer's demands. So the first thing to do, because what is happening is every week there is a new bank that we have to integrate because the existing bank stopped. And when they stop working, what happens? The user directly get affected because the moment they stop, users are still sending money to their bank account, and we don't have access to that bank account. And what does the bank tell us? That in 7 to 14 days, we'll refund the money. And those 7 to 14 days are hell for any crypto exchange in a country, because people are not going to be patient with money. And I don't expect them to be patient, because it's my money, I put it, and I either get a service or get the money back. But unfortunately, the settlement time of any bank, if you go to see, is at least 7 to 14 days. So that's a big problem that we are facing as an industry. And we are trying everything we could, but this is the state. And if we don't question it, if the media does not question the banks, because I'm yet to see a bank giving a public statement on why they're doing this or why they're not allowing a crypto exchange to use their services. It's not happening. Why is no bank talking about it? So I think this is where the media could definitely help the industry to get the right answers. Now the second part is, while this is one part, the second part is the technology. Now I'll give you a simple example. I wouldn't want to defend, but I'll give you a simple example. Coinbase is a $70 billion IPO company in the US, and they launched in 2012. They went down yesterday. Why did they go down? Because, and it's not, there will always be, you can always build better technology, and you should. But the thing is, this kind of traffic that you're seeing, right? It's unprecedented and unheard of in the whole financial sector. The example I gave you of 1 million people signing up on WazirX in April 2021, you will rarely find a financial product like ours which has seen that. Like, I don't think it even happens in the equity markets in the traditional world, that 1 million people sign up on just in 1 month. So that's crazy volumes that you don't have the expertise, and the technological enhancements haven't been there, because a lot of us are still using the technology which was meant for the traditional financial systems. So now I think I would give it a few more years before you would never hear of an exchange ever having a downtime. But otherwise, I think it will get rarer. But I wouldn't say it will never happen.
I hope so. I hope so that technologies get better and users don't have to face all these issues. I know, Nischal, you have taken a lot of your time. So I just want one last question, just 30 seconds. If you could tell us
Sure.
that which I asked earlier as well, that the Shiba Inu coins donated by Vitalik, can they actually be used? Will they actually be useful for India's COVID-19 relief efforts? And how can we do that possible?
So, yeah, I think that's a good gesture by Vitalik, where he's donated that, and it's gone to a COVID relief fund that Sandeep from Matic Network had started, and his idea is to sell it in parts, because otherwise it will just drop the whole market, and ultimately bring that to India. So it is definitely going to go to India, and I think they've done about $80 million or odd sales already. It was about So it's an amazing thing. I think it's going to help the country a lot. So and best wishes to him. He's a good friend, and I think, but it's a great use of a meme token, I think.
Meme token, yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Nischal. It was really fun chatting with you. I think a lot of our users would have got to learn a lot of things about cryptocurrencies. A lot of their concerns would have been addressed as well. And I hope if you like this conversation, please subscribe to India Today Tech. And anybody who subscribes will get a Bitcoin from Nischal. So I'm just kidding. But please subscribe if you like this, and share this video with your friends as well. Thank you, Nischal, so much for your time.
Thanks a lot for inviting.